about me being uncomfortable wherever I am. You ain't never gotta worry about me. You ain't never gotta worry about me. You ain't never gotta worry about me being uncomfortable with who I am.
Go.
When Lucy turned 13, she moved with her father to Japan from Colombia due to his job.
Sus.
They arrived to Shizuoka Prefecture and rented a small house to live in. Her dad did research work at one of the universities while Lucy attended a school at Shizuoka closest to their home.
Okay.
During the first week, her dad was able to drive Lucy to school and also to pick her up after. Things were going fine. She started to make new friends, her Japanese was improving, and overall had a great time.
Okay.
But then, Lucy's dad started to work more hours, and in order to spend the weekends with her, he decided to change his routine.
No.
Meaning he wouldn't be able to drive her or pick her up from school anymore. Lucy had no problem.
No problem, my ass. No, I'm not. No, I'm not with it. I'm not with the shit. I'm not with it, Dad. I don't care what you do. You better work it out. Okay? I'm still a young kid. I'm a kid. Okay? All right. Well, what he say? She 13? She just turned 13? I'm still a kid. So I need your protection 24/7. Please, Jesus. I'm gonna need you to pick me up and drop me off from school and home and anywhere else I need to, go or need to be. Okay? I need you.
Being on her own, and she reassured him that everything was going to be okay.
My ass.
The first 2 weeks walking alone was perfectly fine.
Wow.
Until the Tuesday of the third week.
Damn.
Lucy was on her usual route to school, and then a man around his 30s approached her with a kind smile on his face.
Kind smile, my ass. You got a couple of options right now, sweetheart. Right? One, you can haul ass like a motherfucker. Right? Two, you can haul ass like a motherfucker. Or three, you can haul ass like a motherfucker.
Greeted her in English and started to say things such as, "It's a nice day. I should have brought my dog."
Okay.
And I remember I used to take this way to school.
Oh, yeah?
Lucy tried to be polite since it was common to have people from the area approaching her and her dad for small talk.
How is that
And since Japanese people are so kind and polite,
What?
she did the same as well. She told this man that she really needed to hurry for school. He looked at her, quite disappointed, but smiled again and said, "Oh sure, you must be a really good student. Always on time. I hope to see you again."
My
The
ass.
next day, she saw him again. This time, he told her that he actually had seen Lucy and her dad since they arrived, and how he noticed that her dad was no longer taking her to school.
Oh,
He
God.
then handed her a plastic bag full of candies and cookies.
Oh,
After
hoes.
that, he finally let her go.
Jesus.
In the bag, there were also notes that said, "Have a nice day at school. You are smart. You are pretty." The following day, Lucy decided to confront him.
Pedophile.
Before he offered one of his gifts, she stopped him and told him he made her uncomfortable and to stop being around her. And all of a sudden, he snapped, and the man started yelling at Lucy.
Okay, well, because he snapped, how about you, right? Snap! Hold on, run it back. Okay, since he snapped, how about you go ahead and snap his clucking balls? Both of them. Talking about Japanese people are nice and polite. My ass. I think that goes for anybody. Anybody can, well, not anybody, but like some people can be nice and polite. Anywhere you go, people can be nice and polite. But then there's also like a fine line. A very fine line between being nice and polite and just being like, you just creepy and pedophiles. Like, his ass, come on.
She's ungrateful that she was mistaking their friendship. He pretended to be hurt, and Lucy fell for it.
Jesus.
I should have told my father before, Lucy said. I should have told him everything. Initially, she felt embarrassed and wanted to resolve the problem by herself. One day, her class had a school trip to the Aokigahara forest. The trip was going well. They were walking near the area of the forest and the surroundings.
Wow.
And were divided by groups of 10 with one teacher at the head.
Wow.
It was going to be a long walk, so everyone was told to go to the restroom beforehand. Each of the students were wearing identification, and when they came back, Lucy suddenly realized that she lost hers and thought to run back to the restroom to check and see if she dropped it just before her teacher would notice and scold her for losing it. After checking the restroom and not finding her ID, she decided to give up and get back to her group. But then, the guy appeared.
Damn!
Again. He greeted Lucy and then asked, "What are you doing here?" Feeling shocked and freaked out to see him, Lucy told him that she was in a school trip and that she needed to hurry up and get back to find her group. But before she could get away from him, he said, "Don't you need your ID?" Lucy froze. She looked back at him, and he smiled, then said, "I found it on the ground. I recognized your pretty face.
Found it.
So I put it in my car. Let's go get it before you get in trouble."
You good?
At this point, Lucy was terrified.
You good?
It started to look more sinister, and she couldn't say anything. Seeing she wasn't responding, the man grabbed her arm and began to pull her. Lucy snapped and freed from his grip and started to run away. He followed behind, running fast while calling out, "Lucy-chan! Lucy-chan, what are you doing? Come back here!" She continued running. She didn't realize that she entered the forest and was now without direction.
You are
After running for who knows how long, she no longer heard the man's voice. Her whole body felt heavy, and Lucy couldn't catch her breath. She looked around and everything seemed the same. There was silence. She continued walking for a while until she came across a tending camp. Lucy felt relief when she saw a man come out. She proceeded to tell him everything that happened. He seemed confused and a bit scared of her. But after seeing Lucy crying, he changed his expression to a more warming one. He listened to everything quietly until she finished. They both agreed to call the cops and alert the authorities of the place.
I mean, that's cool and everything, but y'all can't talk outside the forest? Y'all gotta talk. Come on, bro. Really? You gotta do this right here? Right then and now? Right, really? You can't do it outside the forest?
Thankfully, he knew the way back to the entrance of the forest, and two of the forest keepers were walking there.
They bullshit.
His name is Yuki, and Yuki told them in Japanese everything that Lucy had told him. The forest keepers brought them to an information area where they called the police and told them to wait there. They also sent other forest keepers to look for their classmates and alert them about the guy. Meanwhile, Yuki tried to comfort Lucy, telling her what he was doing in the woods. He said that his younger brother passed away 5 years ago, and since then, he's been going to the forest on his brother's birthday to honor him.
Wow.
When the police arrived, she told the officer everything that happened while another group of police officers searched the area.
What?
They finally found the guy in the forest. They arrested him and searched his car for evidence and found tape, rope, and a knife. She thanked Yuki for saving her life, and shortly after, the trip ended and the school called her father. He immediately rushed to the school, but he didn't scold Lucy that day. He just hugged her and she cried on his shoulder.
Lucy and her father moved to Europe for them. Still thankful. Yeah, I know the story was clucked, right, from beginning to end. Right. I mean, granted, they caught the mother clucker, but it was still, you know, it was still clucked. And this is why I say, hold on. And this is why I say that, because first of all, you're in a whole different country. Okay? Then, you're 13. Your dad stops taking you to place, like stop picking you up and dropping you off at school. Right? Which is wild, for real. Right? You're 13. Then you come across this sus pedophile mother clucker, right? There's that. And then I didn't even know forced. Yes, now that I think about it, yeah. At first I didn't think forced like police officers existed, but then now that I think about it, yeah, no, that's a real thing. But in this video, the forest rangers, officers, were ass. Right? I felt like them bitches was playing throughout the whole time. I really felt like the father was in cahoots. Right? The girl, keep it real with you, she was playing. Right? She was playing the whole time. Right? So because like one of the instances was like she misplaced her badge, which I don't really know how that happened. You know, it's around your neck. I don't understand how you lost that. Right. And then like instead of you saying, you know, to like the teacher or whatever, and I felt like the teacher was on some bullshit. Everybody was clucking up in this video. So instead of you saying to the teacher, hey, you know what? I lost my jump. I lost my you feel me? Like my badge, my identity. But you know I go to this school. I left with you and the rest of the students. All right, so you know I go to this school. I'm in your class. You know that. I don't need like identification. Like you already know who your students are. So you going back for that badge was kind of a risky move. It really was, because this is the thing about this is the thing about creeps. They always show up when you least expect it. What the hell was he doing at the forest? Damn near the bathrooms. You know what? I really hope the girl learned her lesson. And I really hope she invests in some Adidas. God, I hope she does. Because this story, even though it ended on a good note, this story and everybody in your story was playing games and was on some bullshit. That's all I'm saying about that. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, now clock everybody in this video. But thank God it did end with the police officers or like the forest rangers or whatever you call them did catch them in it. But there's always a lesson to be learned. Always. Keep it cool, keep it classy. I love you. Stay happy. My family.